Thank you, Akshat, for joining us, Voice of Common People Interacting with Rami. It's wonderful to have you here. And I remember the great times we had when you stayed, like when I stayed your place. We were always, especially you were always kind and generous. So, to start with, having lived worked in Japan and the US, now you are in South Korea. So, which country do you find the most flexible and comfortable for you?
Yeah, definitely it was US. So the reason is the language. So in other countries, I have to face this language barrier.
Mhm.
So US, we can interact, we have good times, we can roam. But here people are little introvert, they don't interact that much. So yeah, it's not as great as US, but yeah, the work culture in US is little toxic. So that's why we need to move out from a toxic work culture. But overall, yeah, US is the best place to be in. For me, it was at least the best place to be in.
But since you are now in South Korea, have you noticed any major cultural differences compared to India?
Yeah, people here are kind, they are polite and then they're very honest, which is very rare in India. So that way it's better. It's almost less polluted. The air quality is really good, and it's no honking on the roads like we face in India. And definitely the honesty is the best part. So even if you leave your belongings somewhere, you are never afraid that someone will take it or someone will pickpocket your things. So much better, in terms of India.
Mhm.
Probably I believe the poverty is the main reason. In India people are more dishonest and they are more into corruption. But here it's much better. Yeah, it's really good.
In terms of food habits,
Mm-hmm.
you observed any food habits from as compared to India?
So they enjoy Indian food. They like Indian food. They whenever I go to any Indian restaurant,
Hmm.
I don't see Indians around me. They're mostly Koreans, enjoying the food.
Okay.
So they enjoy Indian curry. And for me, it's challenging. The food here is not that great.
Mhm.
It's more of seafood and pork and other meat, which I really don't enjoy.
Mhm.
So food is also a problem here, compared to US, it was much better,
Mhm.
more options, more diversity in the food. Here it's mostly the food is Korean and it's very difficult to have Korean food every time.
Hmm. And
So yeah.
I have always admired by your humility and you help others and animals also. And you, how did you develop this habit for helping those in need?
Actually, I don't think I'm helping anyone. It's a normal human behavior which everyone should have, helping others and being there when they need you. So it's something that should come from every human, but unfortunately we that thing is so less now in human beings that we portray it as a good quality, but ideally it should be a part of every human, I believe.
Hmm.
Helping others, especially animals, because
Hmm.
they are more dependent on us. We have already encroached on their environment, and now we when they enter our place, we want to flee them away. We don't want to feed them. So that's something which should not be, because that was originally their place. The environment
Hmm.
was for them, and we just encroached them with our buildings, with
Hmm.
infrastructure. So I think it's a normal human quality, and I don't think I'm helpful. Even you are
No,
equally
no, but
helpful.
I have seen you personally
Uh,
many times. Those who are roadside homeless people, you are giving too much of them, and as well as especially animals. So nowadays, people are not aware of seeing those kind of creatures. But in your
mhm.
case, I think where you learned, we don't know. Actually, I
Uh,
don't know.
it, it
Uh,
was something that was from my childhood. When I was young, I used to, help the stray animals. Whenever I find some dog or someone on something
mm,
who's injured, I will bring it to a doctor. I will try to treat them. So it's probably from the upbringing, or
yeah.
maybe it's how
Mm,
the human should be.
mm,
Ideally, maybe the bringing is not the way it used to be earlier, and people are,
mm.
more selfish and they more care about themselves, rather
Mm,
than be
correct.
uh, honest with the animals or
Yeah,
with the environment.
You mentioned very clearly nowadays people are they're giving more importance to
Yeah,
materialistic life. I think
materialistic. They are more materialistic. Yeah,
they
yeah,
are more
yeah.
materialistic. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
And my final question, I think your dedication towards research is always inspiring to others. And what advice would you give to those who consider as a career in research?
Mm-hmm. It's more, you should be sincere for your work. You should be, uh, updated all the time. You should have, you should be more on the literature side, having what the top scientists are doing and try to inculcate that in your research. And it's basically self-motivation. No one can force you, to work. So even if your supervisor is forcing you or you are getting pressurized from somewhere, if you're not self-motivated, it makes no sense. So I believe self-motivation is the best way to be,
Yeah, you mentioned.
driving.
Yeah, you mentioned very clear. Motivation is the first source to
Yeah,
entering
yeah,
into
yeah,
any field. But how
yeah.
can we get motivated ourselves?
I mean, you should, for me, when I do something good, it makes me happy. So I find happiness, in doing great things, especially if I can do some good science or I can publish some good article or some good patent, gives me happiness. So it's all about where you find happiness. So for me, I enjoy if I'm traveling, if I'm, roaming, I don't enjoy that moment. But when I'm doing research and I'm getting positive results, gives me happiness. So probably it's a way to find happiness for me. So if I can do something good, yeah.
Yeah, but nowadays, people think that, like, especially, I don't want to blame it, but this is my